Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a declutter video. So I have 20 plus fragrances here that I'm going to be getting rid of. I went ahead and counted all of my 30 ml and up bottles, and I am sitting at about 310 fragrances, and I really want to get that number down. I really enjoy this hobby and I really enjoy testing and chatting with you guys, but I am going to be changing how I do that going forward. And if you haven't caught my perfume talk video where I talk about clean versus non-clean fragrances and how I'm going to change the way I test non-clean and how I'm going to be purchasing more clean fragrances, go ahead and check that video out. I'll link it below. It is a video that I want to bring up a few times just until we get used to seeing it on my channel, and I kind of want you guys to understand why I've made this change. It isn't because I know a lot about clean versus non-clean. It's simply because there are a few chemicals that disrupt your thyroid, and I was recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder as well as hypothyroidism, and I just prefer to now pick up more travels of what is considered non-clean, and maybe I'll have the occasional bottle come into my collection. I just recently picked up the new Daisy Wild Intense because it was something that I split with Dennis for Valentine's Day. So I will have an occasional bottle come into my collection. And again, I still want to pick up travels because I still want to know about what's new, what's coming out. So I do want to bring down my non-clean fragrances. A lot of what I'm going to talk about, I love. They're fragrances that have stayed in my collection for some time, but they're sitting there because I'm not wearing them anymore. But we have a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get into the video. First up, we're going to go over some fragrances that I already found new homes. I just want you guys to know what's gone in my collection, so I'll go over them really quick. And for the most part, I'm not going to go over too many notes. I tried to group these up so that I could kind of just describe them really quick. So the first two that I let go were Ralph Lauren's Woman and Woman Intense, and this is a classy white floral fragrance with tuberose being kind of the main note in both of these. I really enjoyed these. I have a review on them. I think the video was like 4 years old. I ended up really loving especially the Woman, the original. Not the Intense. I like the Intense, but the original Woman I think is a beautiful, classy white floral scent. But since I work from home now, I don't gravitate towards those fragrances where I used to wear them more at work. So my mom was happy to take both those off my hands. And then my sister is getting my entire Elizabeth and James Nirvana collection. So I did buy these a while ago because I wanted to do a video on this house, but I don't think that they even sell these anymore. I think this is Mary-Kate and Ashley's perfume brand. We have Nirvana Rose, Bourbon, Nirvana Black, White, French Gray, and Amethyst. So there's no point in me going over these now. I think you can get these at discounters, but these are discontinued. Those are all going to my sister. So the first few fragrances I'm going to talk about are kind of your fruity, fresh fragrances. So first up in that category is Ralph Lauren's Beyond Romance. And none of these smell exactly the same. This one, I think these all three have raspberry. Yeah, I think out of the three, this one's a little bit more sweet, a little bit more playful, fun, whereas the next two I'm going to talk about are a little more fresh. So again, this is Ralph Lauren's Beyond Romance, and this is just a little 30 ml. Then next we have Modern Muse Le Rouge. This is, again, I think there's raspberry, there's rose. This one's fresh, it's musky, beautiful scent. I just don't reach for it anymore. Yeah, this one's really pretty. I just have a lot, again, of the same. And I tend to reach for my newer La Vie Belle Rose fragrances over this one. I just don't want this sitting there. So again, that's Modern Muse Le Rouge. And then a newer one that I recently picked up that I actually really enjoyed, but again, it's another kind of fresh, fruity fragrance, is 212 Heroes Forever Young. I picked up this one because it was super cheap and because of the skateboard bottle, if I'm being completely honest. But this is another one that's, yeah, just fresh, fruity, and clean. So again, that's 212 Heroes Forever Young. Okay, another fragrance, I don't know where this one falls. This one's kind of unique. This is Marlene and Goat's Kith Vapor. I actually heard about this one in a fragrance group. Yeah, this one's nice. I really enjoy this one in the opening, but it's the deep dry down of this one that I'm not crazy about. I'll try to find my review on this one because a lot of these I haven't worn for some time. I know that there's some kind of ice accord in this one. This is a very kind of clean vibe. It's very posh and contemporary. One that I'll have to see if I could find my review where I talk about it, because it is on the unique side and I don't have any of the notes in front of me. I do feel like it had like an isocord and I think dry charcoal. I don't know if this one's considered niche. I think it's like a store, a clothing store in New York, but again, I'll link my review on this one below. I think it was like a perfume haul where I talk about this one. So this is Malin and Goat's Kith Vapor. So I am going to be letting go of my Burberry Her fragrances. London Dream is probably, oh God, every time I spray this one, I fall in love with it, but then I gotta remember that it's the dry down of some of these fragrances where this one gets too powdery. But the opening, the ginger, the fresh gingery opening, this one's London Dream, and I believe on my skin it just gets a little too powdery and the dry down, and then I'm not crazy about it. I also love Burberry Her Eau de Toilette, but I have too many fragrances in this pear musky category, and I'm going to be letting go of a few of them, and I'm deciding between Glossier You and Merit as my new pear fragrance. I think it might be Merit. That one actually surprised me. Yeah, this is fresh. This has a note of strawberry, which I'm getting on paper, but I never used to get on my skin. There's pear in this one. It's clean, musky. These are both very clean girl fragrances. Super pretty, but I have a lot of pear fragrances that fall in this category. So that's the reason why I am passing on this one. So next we have Ariana Grande's God is a Woman. And again, I have a lot of these kind of pear musky fragrances. Some of them have musk, some of them have ambrette, but they all kind of smell similar. Some smell closer to one another. This one reminds me a lot of Clean Reserve's Radiant Nectar. I still have Radiant Nectar because I prefer it. It's got other notes in there that I enjoy. So for that reason, I'm letting go of those pear fragrances. Okay, another kind of fresh fragrance. This one's more green, fruity. I believe this one has lychee. This is Aura by Mugler, and this is the Eau de Toilette. I kept this one because of the bottle. I do prefer this one over the Eau de Parfum, but I am getting that slight, ever so slight root beer vibe from this one that I got in the Eau de Parfum, but this one's a little bit more shampoo-y, a little bit more fresh, clean, green. Well, both are green, but I picked up the vanilla more in the Eau de Parfum, and I don't really pick it up. I'm not sure if it's in here, but I am getting that slight, ever so slight root beer vibe that I got in the Eau de Parfum. I'm starting to get it in this one, but I don't pick this one up. I don't wear it, so I'm going to be passing on this one. All right, then next we have a few what I would like to call date night fragrances. So first up we have Lancome's La Nuit Trésor. And now when it comes to date night, or when I want this kind of fruity, slightly patchouli scent, I have other fragrances that I prefer. I prefer the C range. They don't smell like this, but they're a little bit more of that intoxicating date night fragrance that I prefer. And then I do have a few from Lancome, the La Vie Belle range. So this is a beautiful kind of gourmand fragrance, but I would say gourmand, like when you think of fragrances like La Vie Belle and this one and like some Jimmy Choo fragrances where they're more blended and have more grounding notes. So the gourmand isn't like gourmand fragrances I would say now, where they're a little bit more foodie, a little bit more edible. These had more grounding notes, and then this one has a lot of notes. This one has pear, coffee, caramel, and it's just really well blended. I don't get a lot of that. This has incense, so it's got like a smoky vibe, very sexy, but again, when I do date night, I pick up other fragrances over this one. So for that reason, I'm going to be letting go of this one. And again, this is Lancome's La Nuit Trésor. All right, another kind of date night sexy fragrance is Jimmy Choo's I Want You Forever. I will link my video on this below where I go into detail on this fragrance. I'm letting go of this one because I have other cherry fragrances that I prefer, and the performance on this isn't the best. And when it comes to my designer fragrances or my niche that are non-clean that I am going to be keeping, I want the fragrance to be one that I could just spray on my clothes and below my waist and not have to worry about spraying it again. I don't mind overspraying or respraying my clean fragrances. Now I know this fragrance has worked with other people. In my reviews, some people said it lasts forever. Just like scent is subjective, I do feel like the performance is subjective. And I try to say that when people ask about performance, because I've had people disappointed because something has lasted on me and not on them. So I don't like to go over performance too much. Also, now that I spray my clothes, I feel like that does help fragrances last longer. So this is one that did not last on me. So for that reason, I don't need it in my collection. And again, this is Jimmy Choo's I Want You Forever. All right, then next we have a couple from Yves Saint Laurent. We have Black Opium, Illicit Green, and then Neon. And I love Illicit Green. I was on the fence with Neon, but I have other fig fragrances that I prefer, and then I have other coffee fragrances that I prefer. So this is more of a date night slash fall fragrance for me, and if I could recommend any, it would be this one. This is my favorite, Black Opium. This one's my favorite. You really get the fig in this one. But again, I have other fig fragrances that I pick up over this one, and I just don't want this sitting there. And then there was something sharp in Neon that I just wasn't crazy about. I was hoping for a more fruitier Black Opium, but I didn't really get that. I got something more sharp. Yeah. I definitely get the coffee in this one. This one just, it didn't wow me. It was something sharp in this one, and I just never really picked it up again. I did wear this one a few times, and I did wear this one recently. I'll probably miss this one here and there, but again, I have other fig fragrances. So again, that is Yves Saint Laurent's Black Opium, Illicit Green, and Neon. And these are 30 mils. So I do know I'm going to be letting go of more of House of Sillage, but I kind of want to wear them, go through them. And my first one I'm letting go of is Icy Hard Candy. And I'll link my review on this one because I don't want to spray it. I did spray it in the air the other day just to kind of get an idea, and I will say that the vanilla in this one has gotten stronger. So when I describe this scent, just know that it's a little warmer, which you might like, and it softens it a little bit more. But this isn't my kind of scent, and I think I'm gonna be letting go of the range of these because none of them are loves, which is disappointing because these are the cutest bottles out of all of the cupcakes in my opinion, just because they look like actual cupcakes, where the other ones are cupcakes but with other designs. These look like actual cute cupcakes, but I wasn't crazy about any of the scents. But since I haven't worn them, I kind of want to go through them. This one I did spray, and right away I was like, no, this isn't my cup of tea. All right, then last we have one from Ellis Brooklyn, Fawn. And this one, I said it reminded me of Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc, or Dossier's inspired version of it, which is powdery coconut. But I actually prefer Dossier's version because it's a little smoother. This one is beautiful, but it's got some, yeah, it's got some sharp edges to it. But if you want that kind of luxurious suntan scent, it smells a little more expensive than your other beachy scents, and you want it more on a clean side, I would say check out Ellis Brooklyn's Fawn or Dossier's Powdery Coconut. Again, I prefer powdery coconut. It's a little smoother. This one actually gives me a headache, but I think it's a beautiful scent. I'm not sure if this one has gardenia, but it has a note in there like gardenia that I think is beautiful, but gives me a headache. So again, that's Ellis Brooklyn's Fawn. All right, to wrap up the video, I did want to go over some fragrances that I've decluttered in the past, but since some of you guys are new and it has been some time, I want to mention these. I did declutter two from Jimmy Choo. I decluttered Rose Passion and the Eau de Toilette, so I just wanted to remind you guys that I have these. I actually decluttered this one a while ago. This is Brown Sugar by Fresh, and I picked this one up because of Tara Michelle and Kathleen Lights. But I ended up getting this one and Sugared Lychee, I think is the name of the other one, and I prefer that one. So they have a similar kind of vibe, kind of a sugary fruit vibe. This one leans more citrus, and then lychee leans a little bit more lychee. Beautiful scent, but again, I didn't want too much of the same. And again, that is Brown Sugar by Fresh. Then I still have Oriana. I've had 3 people who have almost purchased this one and then didn't. I know that this is at a lot of discounters. I did pick this one up from Saks, so shop with confidence that you're getting the real deal here. This one was a little too sweet for my liking. And then one that was really hard for me to let go of, Dennis did split this fragrance with me, and I wanted it because of the name Lucky, but I have so many beautiful memories with Lucky, and I don't want a fragrance for that reason alone. And this is a large bottle. So I do have Lucky by Christian Dior that I recently decluttered. And this is a beautiful Lily of the Valley fragrance. And Christian Dior fragrances have gone up. And then last, I do have this travel set by Giorgio Armani. This is a nice way to test out the My Ways. These are 15 ml bottles with maybe not even 5 ml gone from each of them. So this one has the original, the intense, and the puff on version. So that is my declutter. I have more fragrances that I'm going to be decluttering and a few giveaways that I have coming down the road. But again, guys, if you're interested in anything, I'll have all my information linked down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.